Okay, so here I go for the deferred anatomy exam. Let's revise the facial muscles. The face is the area between the superciliary arches, the lower edge of the mandible, and as far back as the ears on either side. I know in total there are 43 muscles in the face, but we only covered 15. The muscles of facial expression are innervated by the facial nerve, and the muscles of mastication are innervated by the trigeminal nerve. These muscles are mainly supplied by the facial artery, which branches off from the external carotid artery. The facial nerve is split into 5 branches orderly from the superior to inferior: the temporal, zygomatic, buccal, mandibular, and cervical branches. Gotta remember my mnemonic: 2 zombies burnt my car.
Welcome to the deferred human anatomy exam. You have an hour to complete. Try not to eat or cheat. You may begin now.
Exam's starting. Here I go. Oh, look at Chloe over here. She's thinking really hard. The orbicularis oris muscle encircles the mouth, forming an ellipse shape. It assists in closing and protruding the lips by causing the mouth to contract and narrow, allowing an individual to pout and pucker, kind of like a fish. Oh, and moving on to Rachel over here. She looks really furious at a question. The levator labii superioris is involved in raising the upper lip and contributes to the smile line known as the nasolabial lines. The depressor labii inferioris draws the lower lip downward and laterally. Here's Prithi. She looks like she's come across a good question. She's happy. The zygomaticus major and minor muscles are the main muscles that work together to form a smile, in which the zygomaticus major muscle raises the corner of the mouth, and the zygomaticus minor muscle elevates the upper lip. And moving on to Smile over here. Wait, where did that chicken drumstick come from? Seems like she's trying to cool it down. The buccinator is a thin, flat muscle found on the walls of the cheek, which allow the action of whistling, sucking, and blowing, like blowing a balloon up. This muscle, although not part of the muscles of mastication, assists in ingesting food by causing the cheek to be pressed against the teeth and holding the cheek during mastication to keep the food pushed back to the posterior section of the mouth. She's eating it now. The temporalis and the masseter are 2 of the 4 muscles which are involved in mastication. Deeper to these muscles are the medial and lateral pterygoid, which also assist in mastication. The temporalis, masseter, and medial pterygoid allow for the elevation of the mandible, and the lateral pterygoid helps in depressing the mandible. These are innervated by the mandibular division of the trigeminal nerve. A mnemonic for these muscles: punch the mango. As Smile continues eating her chicken, Arib doesn't look too impressed. The risorius muscle is located between the corner of the mouth and the lower jaw bone. It works by expanding and contracting in an upward and outward motion and produces an insincere-looking smile. The risorius is also involved in actions of grinning and laughing. Prithi definitely doesn't look impressed either. The occipiter frontalis covers the dome of the skull and consists of the occipital and frontal parts, which work in conjunction to coordinate facial movement. The frontalis controls movement of the forehead and eyebrows, allowing for the transverse wrinkling of the forehead. The occipitalis is located at the back of the skull and controls the backward movement of the scalp. It is involved in the raising of the eyebrows. Oh no, there's 1 minute to go and Rachel's just discovered another page. The platysma muscle is often described as a neck muscle, but is grouped in with the facial muscles as it's a contributor to the orbicularis oris muscle complex. The platysma muscle acts to lower the lip and corners of the mouth down, and it also tenses the skin in the neck when the individual is in an emotional state, as shown by Rachel. Time's up! The orbicularis oculi is a circular band of muscle that surrounds the eye, giving the appearance of wearing goggles. The orbicularis oculi acts to close the eyes, as with a blinking motion that can be seen. And these were the main muscles in your face. Hope your exam goes better than ours.